Hello, this video is going to be some of the relaxation poses that I refer to and also some of the modifications. So I'm going to leave this video out there for you guys to watch, maybe first even, to know what to do when you need to go to a relaxation pose or how to do some of the modifications. So for those of you who are just starting to watch these videos, I do want to let you know that the head of my bed is on an incline. And so, and also pay attention to how soft or how firm your bed is, because that will make a difference. Mine's slightly on the soft side, which will affect, obviously it will affect how we do our yoga poses. So one of the first poses that's a relaxation pose is called corpse, and literally it just means laying on your back. Your ankles are falling easily to the side, hands are falling to the side, head is looking straight. This is a relaxation pose. Hopefully this pose is very simple for you. If not, you can do some modifications. One of the modifications that can help is to put the feet on the bed. That helps take a little bit of strain off of the back. So putting the feet on the bed, you can either put them just very, have kind of a wide angle between your with your knees, or you can have a narrower angle. Try this out, see how it feels. There are going to be different things that feel good. Another modification is to put a pillow under the knees. Either allowing the pillow to totally support the legs, or to just be an extra added support when you're pulling the knees up. But this can be really, really relaxing and comfortable. And for someone who may be in the bed more of the day than not, this can be a very, very comfortable position to take some pressure off of the knees, take some pressure off of the back, and allow the body to totally relax. Changing to a side position. This is called fetal position. This can be very, very comfortable when we are transitioning from supine to prone position, or from laying down to sitting up. Laying in fetal position can be a very comfortable way to relax the body, to kind of reset the breathing and reset the heartbeat. Something that can be a modification in this position, I might not use the same width of a pillow, I might use a thinner pillow. So raising the leg. If we need help raising the leg, use your hand, use your arms to pull the leg up. You may need to continue to hold it up, place that pillow underneath there, and then let that leg drop. That can help with some strain on the hips. It releases some of the, for some people it's much more comfortable to have the pillow in between the legs like this for fetal position. Also, we may choose to pull our legs toward our chest in fetal position, or we may choose to have our legs farther down. We may choose to cross one leg over another. There are lots of different options. Try to figure out what feels comfortable for you. And obviously I'm only showing you one side here. So as we transition into prone position, which is on the stomach, one of the relaxation poses is to have the arms straight in front and the forehead on the bed, or the chin in my case because I wear glasses. Another of the relaxation poses is child's pose. And this is one that you could go to during any of the prone positions. And if you were in a typical yoga class, you would get into downward facing dog, which is a relaxation pose. Some of the standing poses can be relaxation poses, but since we're just doing yoga in bed, I'm not going to introduce those to you, but I just wanted to let you know. So always when you're coming up into child's pose, always being sure to protect that back, okay? You don't want to scoop your back. You want to try to keep it as straight as possible, and then going back into child's pose. So in child's pose, I know I've mentioned this a couple of times, but it's worth mentioning again. In child's pose, remember the incline on my bed makes it look a little bit different. We can put a pillow or a towel or a blanket or something under the knees if that makes it feel more comfortable. We can also do that, well, I'm not going to put it here yet. So child's pose, allowing the lower back to totally stretch out. Also in child's pose, some people will put something underneath their head, like a block. I'm going to have to remove my glasses for this one. So there are props, actual yoga props, but we're doing yoga in bed, so we're going to use pillow props. So one of the things about child's pose is that the arms can be at the side like this, or the arms can be in front. Another modification is instead of having the pillow under the knees, we can have the pillow behind the knees. And I have to admit, this is the first time I've done child's pose with a pillow on my forehead, and it feels really good. So it might be worth having a pillow handy. Another modification for child's pose is to widen the legs. So normally when you see me go back, my legs are pretty straight, almost like I could just sit up on them, and then I go forward. But if it's more comfortable, you can widen those knees and then go forward. So that's another one of the modifications for child's pose. If you were using a mat, we would say put your knees on the edge of the mat. So those are some of the modifications for child's pose. So those are some of the supine relaxation positions. So anytime you're doing prone, those are some of the prone relaxation. So anytime you're doing any of the prone positions, meaning on your front, if it's too much, if it doesn't feel right, just go to the relaxation positions. So now I'm going to show you I don't know if you've noticed, but anytime I get into easy pose, which is basically like a crisscrossed legs, I lean forward. What I'm doing is I'm pulling my sit bones out and making sure that my spine is straight. So leaning forward, allows us to sort of sit with that spine nice and straight. This may not feel comfortable for some people. So one of the things to do in this position, and I'm going to change which leg is in front. I'm going to try to get in a better practice of changing legs. But one of the things to do that is a modification is to put pillows under the knees. What that does is it allows for a little bit less of a stretch in the hip and the leg. It can protect the knees by giving it a little bit of a gentler angle. And it also, it feels really comfortable for one thing. And it, so it protects the knees, it protects the hips, and that may be the extension that feels most comfortable. For some people, they don't want to cross their legs at all. It doesn't feel good at all. So one option would be to have a straighter leg. So an actual straight leg on the bed would look like this. And often when we're doing a straight leg, we're going to flex our foot. And putting the foot at with the knee a little bit raised, or with the pillow underneath. And this time I'm going to actually kind of wad the pillow up. You may choose to have a lower angle for your knee, but the idea is to get used to a seated position that feels comfortable. So instead of having the crisscross applesauce where the knees are almost touching the bed, there could be 1 or 2 pillows. For the straight leg, there could be a pillow underneath the knee, and just have it be not quite as straight. Just do the best you can, because the purpose of these videos is to get people moving, to get you moving, to get you in, to know that yoga is attainable. It may feel like it's way over here or way out there, or it's something other people do, but I want you to know that it's something that maybe you could do too. And even if it's just stretching the arms, if the legs aren't moving, just stretching the arms. When it comes to stretching toward the legs, moving to the point that feels comfortable. It may feel comfortable just right here, just gently moving the back toward the leg. It may feel comfortable moving all the way down, touching the feet, touching the knees. So the idea is to try to make it as comfortable and attainable for you as possible. I'm trying to think of other seated poses. So another thing that comes up is protecting the back. So when we're protecting the back, what we try to do, again, I'm leaning forward, kind of pulling out those sit bones, nice straight back. We want to keep the back as straight as we possibly can. So some of the ways to protect the back as we move is to kind of tighten the abs, kind of draw the shoulder blades back, and move with the back as if it has a board attached to it. So another thing is when we're trying to stand up as straight as possible, we imagine that board extends to the back of the head. So it feels, a lot of times we kind of sit forward like this, or kind of sit our head, I do especially, and we try to imagine that a board is going straight down from the back of our head, down through the center of our back, down to our tailbone. So trying to get it as straight as possible, and when we move, tightening the muscles so that the back is moving as straight as possible. But also, a modification could be that when we are doing something that involves the back, to barely move the back. So for example, if I'm leaning forward onto the bed, and that does not feel like a comfortable position, you may choose to put a pillow or two, but remembering to keep that lower back as straight as possible. So if we're leaning forward, it may feel more comfortable to put some of the weight on the arms and just go to a position where the back is still straight but is lower. When we are rising from a lowered back position, and I'm gonna release the straight back part. But when we're rising, we use our hands to walk us back, and that protects the lower back. When we're going backwards and we're doing chest openers, again, it may feel tight in there. So just move to what feels comfortable. So the reverse would be to put a pillow underneath your lower back. Cat. So underneath the lower back, gently lowering with the elbows, allowing the chest to open, but also kind of just seeing how it feels in the back. If it feels really sore, then go back. Don't go back quite that far. Just go back maybe to the point that you can do for that day. You may need to add another pillow, or even do something up against the bed, up against the headboard if you have one, or the wall. So just leaning back like this and practicing the lower breathing, the yogic breathing. If you can put the head back, that can be very, very comfortable. And then over time, getting lower and lower so that the back can stretch out more fully. Now, modifications with the neck. They're similar to the back. So when we're moving the neck, we may move it down and then move it all the way back. That may not feel totally comfortable, so just move it to the point that feels comfortable. So let's say you try to put your chin to your chest and it won't quite go. That's totally fine. Do what you can for that day. You may find that it's easier to put your chin to your chest than it is to put your head all the way back. That's because we don't normally put our head back very often. So same thing with the ear over the shoulder. We don't want to raise the shoulder to meet the ear. What we want to do is relax the shoulder and then gently just allow the head to drop. And we want to be nice and straight with it. We want to, we're not trying to angle our head back like this or forward unless those are the directions. But we just gently drop it to one side or the other side. Always paying attention to the neck and being careful. If there are any injuries, you may decide to wear like a protective, trying to think of what you would wear around your neck, but wearing something to prevent you from overextending or from doing it too much or from re-injuring something. There are the back braces. A neck brace might be hard, but if you have a neck brace and you need to wear that, then just do the best you can within the limitations that you have for right now. Because you may find that if you continue to do these types of things where you're gently stretching your neck and opening your chest, that it may become easier and your neck will get stronger. So I'm trying to think of any more modifications that you might do. You'll hear me say frequently fist for wrist or starfish hands. So starfish hands mean our fingers are out and active, and then fist for wrist, that means when you're putting your wrist down that you're literally making a fist. And when you do that, I have a tendency to turn my elbow because it's kind of almost double jointed. But try to keep your wrist as straight as possible. So noticing the straight line between the shoulder and the elbow and the wrist. And often that is my preference is to do fist for wrist. And then on the bed, you might actually have to be extra careful. So fist for wrist may be better because the bed has a little bit more give than a floor and a mat would. So fist for wrist, anytime you're moving, just always, always, always listen to your body. Pay attention to the messages it's giving you. You may find that it's easier in one direction than the other, and that's fine. What we're doing is we're trying to make sure that we're giving our body the opportunity to move in that direction. And it may take a little bit. It may take a little bit of breathing. sometimes I notice that when I feel kind of stiff in a pose, if I just stay in it and allow myself to breathe and get further into the pose on the exhale, then the muscles loosen, they give, and it feels amazing. So I hope this was helpful. This is for modifications, safety, protecting our bodies as we move through the yoga in bed. Thank you and have a great day.